So my name's Keith. I'll be playing the role as the safety advisor, and then Lynn will be playing the role as the HSR, and then Myles will be playing the role as management. Rightio. So thank you guys for coming out. We have concluded the investigation on incident involving one of our employees, Ted, with the forklift. So I'll just give you a quick rundown on what happened again. So Ted, being an experienced forklift driver, he was operating the forklift and he dismounted the forklift. The forklift was still in motion. He tripped forward and the forklift has run over and crushed his leg. It's resulted in obviously a broken leg and some deep lacerations. He has been transported to hospital to receive medical attention. We have had management reach out to WorkSafe WA, to the regulator. We've had our inspector come out, do a full investigation. Some of the contributing factors that's come out of it. One, the worker dismounted the forklift while it was still moving and did not maintain its 3-point of contact. Ted did report to supervisor that he had been feeling ill and had been feeling fatigue, which is probably what's affected his concentration and his decision making. Also, due to 3 of the workers being on leave, he's obviously had high workload being put on him, a lot of pressure, obviously with incoming shipments and obviously understaffing. He's working at a pace that he might not be used to. Obviously that compounding with the fatigue doesn't help. Our supervisor actually wasn't there in inadequate supervision and did not report that what his symptoms were. We weren't made aware of, I don't know about you in management, but we weren't made aware of how ill Ted was. So the supervisor failed to intervene in that aspect. And Ted failed to follow safety procedures. As mentioned before, his 3-point of contacts when dismounting the forklift wasn't maintained, forklift wasn't in park, and it wasn't operated as intended based on our procedures. So with the contributing factors, we have some controls that we would like to implement on your approval. So I'll give you guys a copy so we can follow through. The first one on our agenda that we came up with is implement a fatigue management system. Obviously with the hours that Ted was working, he wasn't taking any breaks, so including limits on working hours, mandatory breaks, and monitoring overtime. Introduce fitness to work policies to ensure workers are not operating plant while feeling unwell or impaired. Improve supervision and leadership. So obviously on our supervisor not intervening, making sure that they actively intervene when risks are identified, and we can fix them obviously before it gets to a situation like this. Provide refresher training and competency assessments for forklift operators. Obviously the big thing is safely dismounting and mounting the forklift. We need to strengthen our safer work procedures, our SOPs, ensure that it's not just enforced in upper management, but all the way through our departments, and it's not just lost between the office and the field. And introduce stricter plant and equipment controls, ensuring that the forklifts are placed in neutral, that the handbrake is applied, and pre-starts are done on the machines to make sure that they're in operable condition. So based on these controls, is there anything, based on what I've read so far, is anything that you guys have any questions on? Do you guys understand what the incident is, the contributing factors, how we're going to implement them? Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else that you would like to add on to our control factors? Anything that we might have missed?
Well, I do want to ask, does the forklift itself have any sensors for like when they hop off the vehicle? Do we need to install any sensors, like pressure sensors on the seat?
As far as I know, that it doesn't.
No.
Otherwise, obviously, if he's dismounted the forklift, it should have stopped. So I've got a feeling that machine's either an old forklift where that feature isn't actually built in, or that they've potentially tampered with it. So that is something that we can look into doing, is installing that onto our forklifts.
And if it's been tampered with and they're quite old forklifts, would it be a good idea, should we put a pre-start check for the forklift before the operator uses it?
Yep.
Yeah, and just on that as well, with like him being able to get it off, should we, I don't think any of our forklifts have seat belts.
Okay.
That could be connected to a sensor as well. That way, if they do have the seatbelt off when the handbrake's not applied, it will go off.
Yeah.
And then just with the implement fatigue management system, I don't know what you've looked into, but we could probably get the time capture team who send all the timesheets through to if there's any excessive hours or overtime, then they can send a report to management.
Yeah.
And then that can be dealt with that way. Because I know sometimes while we're in the shift and we get like someone not coming in, the supervisor makes the decision on getting someone to do overtime.
Yeah.
But there's like not really the option to say like no.
Yeah.
So maybe just making sure that all overtime is approved before we do it.
Yeah.
Like by management, by Lorna and all that.
Yeah. Okay.
Look, I can also have a look at the budget and we can try to get it so we can have spotters. So it's not just that one operator in the yard by himself. That way there's also another person there that has eyes on hazards and everything that's going on.
Yeah. And we probably also need approval for to use like a labour hire if anyone can't come in.
Yeah, if we don't have the numbers around the staff.
And then they could just call them and they can be there in like a couple of hours. Or even implement like a call out roster, like a standby, just so people aren't doing the crazy hours. Because I know we've got SLAs and stuff in place, but just to make sure we can still reach our targets, but not put people at risk.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So just quickly doing a summary. So on our implement fatigue systems and monitoring our overtime, we can get our time capture team to just notify management if there is any overtime that's been put in.
Yeah.
Then we can look at approving it. If it does get out of hand, we can intervene and go, hey, look, you need to take a break. You need to ensure that you're taking your mandatory breaks. And we can look at seeing how that monitoring breaks looks as we go on.
Yeah, because Ted never takes his breaks.
Yeah. Whether that's in a written warning or something like that, because it's one of the ways we're going to avoid this incident happening again is making sure that they take their breaks, because that's why it's there for a reason.
That could be added into the forklift training when you do the
the fatigue management stuff.
Oh, yep. That's a good idea.
because I think under the employment legislation, there's also a bit about like fatigue management.
Yeah.
And like the hours that we can do.
Yeah.
So under like the.
And
warehouse.
then on top of the supervision, introducing like a 2-person minimum per shift to make sure no one's working by themselves, and that workload can be shared at least by someone else. And like you mentioned, we can look at, you know, if the budget's allowing it, going through like a labour hire company.
Well, I can have a look because it might be beneficial having it so we have the spotter that's present also have the forklift license, so they can share the load as well.
Yeah, you can rotate operating
because
the machinery.
labour hire, it will be like training up someone new every day, all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
So with someone that's permanently around, they can also share the load and take the load off the forklift driver as well.
Yeah. Okay. Just add that. So yeah, introducing a two minimum person per shift, and obviously finding someone that can operate the forklift as well, so they can rotate the task, rotate the stresses of being on the machine the whole day.
Yeah.
And then implementing the fatigue management into our training and refreshing courses. And then obviously with the plant itself, installing like a pressure sensor in the seats, seat belts on the forklift, features that will ensure that, you know, if they do dismount the forklift, you know, it'll alert them, emit some sort of alarm, or it'll actually automatically put the forklift into park and stop it from moving forward. If there's nothing else and you guys are happy with that, are we good to move forward on getting that approved, and we can begin implementing these changes? Is there any other feedback that you guys would like to add?
Just one more question about the forklift during the incident itself. Was that checked over for any damage? Because of course it's gas. We don't want any leakage or anything.
Yeah, WorkSafe did. Like because I was with them when they came in and did the, they actually checked that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's all I have.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks.